Hello everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial from the Darkoath Army Set. And today we are painting the magnificent new Wilderfiend, or Wilderfiend, however you're supposed to say it. I'm not entirely sure. We're going to be painting him up today because Games Workshop very kindly sent me the Darkoath Army Set to build up and paint for all of you. And I've been looking forward to this one because it's absolutely beautiful. Look at it, it's gorgeous. So we're going to jump in and we're going to start painting it. It has been primed in Grey Seer, and the colour we're going to be using first is Space Wolves Grey, and we're going to be applying this over the top of the soft underbelly of the Wilderfiend. We're just going to commit to Wilderfiend here. Now, helpfully with this guy, it's actually quite a sort of two-tone model. It's not got like a casual blend going through the colours. It's literally blue and a lovely dark purple. So we're going to be applying this over the top of all of the soft inner areas. Now, this does include, as you can see, the chin, and then on the neck we bring it up to this fold in the muscles, just there, like that. You don't have to be 100% neat here, but that right there is basically the line at which it works. Okay, and then similarly up here, we basically bring it up to there, and then we apply it over the top of the entirety of the belly, but we bring it round here, around the corner, and then kind of where the beast's flanks stop, which is just along this kind of line of muscles. That's where we stop, like so. We also bring it down what is basically a bicep. Just like that. We obviously have the other bicep as well. Flip it around. Make sure you get that side. And then once again, just bring it up that kind of flanking line, like so. That's the torso done, and then for the legs, we've helpfully got, again, just nice bunched muscles with which to work. So we want to do that on the inside of the hamstring. Or calf. You want to come over here and around that muscle, just there. We want to apply the Space Wolves Grey. Like that. And then once once again we do the same thing on the other side. Like that. So with that then done, we take Leviathan Purple and we're going to apply this over the top of the rest of the skin on the Wilderfiend. I've already changed my mind. And we're going to start just down here. So with that done, we're then going to take some Druchii Violet and we're going to apply this over the top of all of the skin. So we're going over the top of the blue, the purple, all of it. So with that Druchii Violet all applied, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Fenrisian Grey. It might seem like it's a little bit early in the process, but this is how we're going to add some of that brightness back in, but also get that sort of very subtle little blend line that's going on between the purple and the blue. So we can take that Fenrisian Grey and we're going to start reapplying this just like this over the top of all the muscles. Just like this. So with that done, we're going to leave the skin behind for a little bit because the next part is to do a bunch of highlights. But what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to the next colour instead, which is going to be some Blood Angels Red. We're going to apply this over top of the tabard and the bits of cloth around the back. With that Blood Angel's Red applied, we're then going to take some Volupus Pink. And we're going to apply this over the top of the lips and the teeth of the beast. So with that then done, we're going to take some Agrax Earthshade and we're going to apply this over top of any of the kind of straps, not the main belt. With that all done, we're then going to take some Wyldwood and we're going to apply this over the top of the main belt. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Skeleton Horde. And we're going to apply this over the top of all of the spikes, horns, claws, and all that good stuff. All over his body. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Black Legion and we're going to apply this over the top of all of the hair and this rock. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Gryph-Charger Grey and we're going to apply this over the top of all of the little rune rocks. And with that done, we're then going to take some Poxwalker. I'm going to apply this over the top of all the heads. With that then done, we're going to take some thinned down Runelord Brass and we're going to apply this over the top of these armor plates. We've got this one here, we've got this one under here, we've got the collar as well, and this kind of housing for that rock, like that sort of thing. We've also got the large one here on the back. So with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors. And we're going to use this to basically now paint in all of our remaining details. So we've got little kind of links and chains and stuff like this. Scattered all around the model. So just be on the lookout for them. So with that done, we've now got all of our base coats on our Wilderfiend. So we're going to add some shades. And the first of these is going to be some Reikland Fleshshade. And we're going to use this over the top of all of the horns and spikes and the talons. With all of that Reikland Fleshshade applied, we're then going to take some Agrax Earthshade. And I'm going to use this to shade all the metallics. So the Runelord Brass and the Iron Warriors. Finally, before we can truly call him Warhipster battle ready, we need to take some thinned down Karak Stone and use this to pick out the teeth. So with that done, our Wilderfiend is now what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. And it's looking pretty cool. However, we're of course not going to leave it there. We're going to take it to the next level. And we're going to do this by adding some highlights. And the place we're going to start is on all the purple. Now, the colour we're going to be using first for this is some thinned down Slaanesh Grey. And this is going to probably take the longest time. But what we're just going to start doing here is picking out all of the raised areas. And edges. Around the model. But just take your time. And then once that's done, we'll come back. So with all of that Slaanesh Grey applied, as you can see, the purple's taken a massive leap forward. So what we're going to do is the same thing to the blue. And the colour we're going to be using for that is some thinned down blue horror. And much the same as what we've just done with all the purpley bits. I'll actually start around here on the corners. We're just going to start picking out all the edges. But what we can also do with blue horror is we can use this to highlight the little rune stones and indeed the desiccated flesh of the heads. So with that all done, we're now going to move on to the next colours because the main bulk of it is now finished. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take some thinned down Fulgrim Pink. I'm going to use this to highlight the lips. And with that Fulgrim Pink applied, we're then going to take a tiny amount of Evil Sunz Scarlet. And we're going to apply this over top of the eyes of the Wilderfiend. Just in there, like so. So with that then done, we want to take a tiny little dot of Fire Dragon Bright. We want to apply this in the middle of the Evil Sunz Scarlet. Like so. What we're also going to do with the Fire Dragon Bright is we're going to use this to highlight the red. So with the red all highlighted, we're now going to move on to one of the other big areas of the Wilderfiend, which is of course all of the bones and all of the tusks and horns. Now the colour we're going to be using to highlight this is some thinned down Screaming Skull. I'm going to start right down here on the hand and then just work our way up the model. Being as methodical as possible. That way we don't miss anything, in theory. So with all of that Screaming Skull applied, as you can see, the model takes a massive leap forward. So what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Dawnstone. I'm going to do something slightly fiddlier here, which is to highlight all of the black details. With that Dawnstone all applied, we then take some thinned down Ironbreaker. And we use this to highlight those silver bits. And finally, at least for him, we're going to take some thinned down Canoptek Alloy. I'm going to use this to highlight all of our Runelord Brass bits. So with that done, our Wilderfiend is now finished, and I think it looks absolutely spectacular. However, we've got one last thing left to do, which is of course the base. Now I'm going to base him to match the rest of my Grand Army of Chaos. So the colour that I'm going to be using first is Black Templar. I'm going to be applying this over the top of all of the rock. So with all that Black Templar applied, we're then going to take Skeleton Horde and we're going to apply this over top of all of the bones. And then once again, just like on the actual Wilderfiend itself, we're going to take some Gryph-Charger Grey. I'm going to apply this over top of all the little rune stones. And with that done, it's now time to take some Stirland Mud. I'm going to apply this over the top of all the negative space around the base. And so with that now fully dry, we're going to take some Tyrant Skull and we're going to dry brush this over the top of the entirety of the base. And you can finish the rim off in whatever colour you like, add some tufts. But with this, the Wilderfiend is now done. So with that base now complete, our Wilderfiend is now finished. And the thing I like so much about this miniature is it is a genuine surprise to have it in amongst the rest of the Darkoath Army set. The rest of them are just kind of, you know, what you'd expect. But then you have this glorious beastie and it just kind of dominates the box. It's really cool, it's really nice, and it's a lot of fun to paint. And well, I hope you enjoyed this one and I hope you like it. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/Warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.